Hi, Michelle French, Run on Heart, personal training, fitness and nutrition. And tonight I am going to create a very short and easy video. I hope it won't take any more than 30 minutes. I'm going to walk you through a simple routine for low back and hips. It's a really low energy type of series of movements, okay, meant to help. Okay, so first you're going to need a floor. Most of us have one of those, and a foam roller. All right, so it's basically, if you've never seen one before, it's made out of foam and it rolls. All right, you can go onto Amazon and pick up an Amazon basic one. I think it's black for about 20 bucks. You don't need to pick up the really expensive one with all the knobbies and torture devices on them right now. Just a simple foam roller to get you started. All right, so now we're going to lay on the ground or sit on the ground. And we're going to roll out. The first things we're going to do is we're going to roll out our low back and our hips. All right. So I'm going to run through this with you. And feel free as you memorize the video, because the movements are really simple, to do this on your own and draw things out a little bit longer. All right? Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay and get a little bit of our low back underneath our rib cage, away from that rib cage in the back, and just kind of dig into that a little bit where the quadratus laborum is, and that's really right in here. All right, comes down and into here. All right, please try not to roll your foam roller directly over your spine. All right, try to avoid that. All right, so lift yourself up a little bit or lay on your side, find your comfort zone. I realize this could be extremely painful. And so what we say with the foam roller is you want to just kind of go up to where it feels uncomfortable, what you can tolerate, and that's where you stay. All right, just roll back a little bit, roll up a little bit, roll down. If your back is sore, this is going to be relieving. And maybe on this particular day, this is the only thing you can do, and that's okay too. It will be helpful. But what we're doing is we're going to do a series of foam rolling exercises. We're going to go to the other side. And we're going to release these muscles, and then we're going to work with a couple of other muscles to get them to kind of come into play. So the muscles that are sore can relax a little bit. We can build muscle around that. All right, and as we go on, we can then strengthen the back a little bit more. All right, but this right now is really just meant for relaxing the back and strengthening the core a little bit. And this is a fixer. Okay. Just kind of roll on it, feel it out. Oh, I know it feels good. All right, it's for your low back. All right, good. Then we're going to come up on the foam roller, a couple of different ways to do it. Foam roller goes under your hip. All right, the legs can either come in front and your hand can come down, taking a lot of the weight off of your hip. All right, and it's like right in this area that you want to be. All right, and the other way to do this, if you're more experienced and brave, is to stack your feet and then pull yourself up on the foam roller. So what we're looking for is, and my favorite way to do this actually, is to sit with the leg in the back like this on the side. So you have to lean back just a tad, getting a little bit more of that meat of the hip. All right, and then I bring my leg up. All right, and then just kind of balance and roll on it. Really kind of find that hip space. There's a hip, and there's just like muscle, and you just want to massage it out and stretch it. It just feels awful and good at the same time. I think you'll know what I'm talking about when you get on the foam roller. It feels awful and good all at the same time. Just take your time, and it's kind of like, imagine you had a big ball of pizza dough and you were letting it sit to proof for a while, and then you popped it down on the table and you were going to get ready to roll it out with a rolling pin. That's what this is. All right, that's exactly the image in your head that you want to have when you're rolling this thing out. Look out for bone and other things, but really pay attention to like the stretching out of the very tight muscles in the hip, and take your time with it. You can roll back and forth on it. Just really get in there. Think of a foam roller as an instant massage therapist, just for, it doesn't take the place of it, but it certainly can be helpful. Okay? There you go. Next, same thing, other side. All right, across cross the legs over this way, or you can bring it back and behind, and then bring your foot here and reinforce yourself just a little bit and just really get in there. This really is my favorite way to roll out my hips because I get much more into the meat of the hip when I'm trying to stretch it out. I would say that this is probably, of the three things that we're doing with regard to IT, low back, and hip, if you have hip pain and it's sore, this is going to feel the best in the end. Maybe not while you're doing it, but in the end. So just take your time, roll out that big old ball, just, find lumpy spots and pain spots and sit on them a little bit and take your time. All right, if you sit a lot during the day, these can get really, 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 really sore. Okay? All right. Now, from that, and I could do this all day long because it feels so good, we're going to roll out. We'll stay on this side because we're here. We're going to roll out our ITs. Now, caveats with ITs: deep vein issues, varicose veins, anything protruding vein-wise in the legs, you cannot foam roll them. All right? Don't do it. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to stay about halfway up. We're not going all the way down the IT band, just halfway. You want to avoid the knee area, all right, and you want to keep it above. Again, if you have, skip this if you have varicose veins or vein issues at all. All right, so all we're going to do here is we're going to put our leg in front to support, and we're going to roll about halfway down. There you go. We're going to roll and look for the tight one, the tight IT band. And you might find when you get about halfway down that it's talking to you a little bit. Stay there. Wherever you find the escalation of pain, stay right there and just lean on it. Bring that leg in front. It'll help, and the hand down on the floor, and it will help regulate the amount of pain you feel. It'll take some of the weight off of it. All right, there. Now, if you're really brave and you're seasoned at this, you can roll just like this. All right, there. Stack your legs, and you'll get the full weight of your body on there. Now, these three particular foam roll exercises can be done alone every single day. All right. There. Up on the hip. So you're either going to stack or come forward, and you're going to look for tightness in the IT band. Find your happy place here. Okay. You can also do these three exercises with me. Stop the video, play with it a little bit while longer, and then turn the video back on when you're ready to move on. Okay? And you can do things in stages. If all you have in you one day is the foam rolling exercises, then that's all you do. But I encourage you, there's 6 exercises in this routine. And they're all on the floor. So you're going to find your happy place here and get that roll down. So typically with a foam roller, we want to stay on it till we're about 50% less with regard to discomfort. And sometimes that can take a little time because people like to keep moving, especially when there's pain involved. All right, hopefully you find that you don't have any and your IT bands are perfect. All right, now after you have thoroughly rolled out your ITs, your hips, and your low back, set your foam roller aside, say goodbye to it for now. We're going to move into something called a 90-90. Okay? Now, what that is start with your feet up and out, and then you're going to rotate forward. Look at your legs. Your knee should be directly in front of your body. Your leg should be directly in front of this, the lower portion of your leg. This hip here, knee should be back, directly out, and directly out. So you look like a running man. That feels so good. All right, so now all we're going to do is stick chest out, and we're going to lean forward only till we meet resistance. Hold it in one position. So I'm going to run through these so you understand how to do them. All right, but take your time as you memorize the video and get to become familiar with it. And you can just kind of slow the process down and take extra time. This is one of those videos that you can do once you know how to do this. We're going to come halfway, same thing. Turn the chest, meet where your Achilles and your calf is, and then you're just going to lead with your chest to come forward. But this is one of those videos that if you know what to do in the progression, you can sit in front of your television set, watch your favorite show. You can put some music on, take your time with it. You'll always feel better after you've done this particular grouping of stretches. Now, again, with this stretch, you're only going to take it as far as you can when you feel tension. Now, when you come over here and you're here and your knee is up off the ground and you're having a hard time and you're struggling, stay in this position. Don't move to this position until this one feels very neutral. And that may take time, as in session after session after session of consistent work. All right. I'm showing you these other two positions in this stretch for people who tend to be a little bit more flexible or have been working on mobility for a while. The third position in this, which most people cannot do that I know of, is that you turn your whole body toward your ankle and then you just lean forward. Not with your chin, just lean with your back straight. It's very difficult to do. This can be done 3 times. We're going to roll around, come around this way. We're going to do the same thing, double check the legs, make sure they're in the position they need to be, and we're going to stretch. It feels so good to stretch. You know, it's easy in the summer when the weather is warm. The muscles are warmed up and everything feels pliable. But once we get to the colder weather, the muscles naturally tighten up. You know, bracing for when we're walking on snow and ice and whatnot. But it's just that it's colder. So it's always good to take some time to stretch even more in the winter and prepare your body for like outdoor activity or whatever you got going on. So come on up. You're going to turn your chest towards your calf and your Achilles. Now, what you might find is that one side is a whole lot more flexible than the other side. That you're cramping up, that it feels awful. So if you find that you have a cramp over here, you're just going to come back and go to the original position because your body's not ready to accept, the mobility isn't there in the other hip, all right? Everybody has different issues. None of us are perfect, all right? And then, of course, the third position is the one where you're facing your ankle. I don't have a hope of getting there just yet. I am not unlike you. All right. Now, once we've got all of these things all stretched out, we're going to do what I call a reverse extension. It's a core exercise. You're going to roll over onto your back, get down however you can. Just rock it back and forth. Feel your back flat into the floor. Bring your knees in as much as you can. Separate them if you want to. Feet together, knees out. And just get that back flat to the floor. This is a really good alternative way to get that to happen. It just feels great. All right. Now, from this position, we're going to put our legs right at 90 degrees. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. The first way to do this particular extension is to put a weight in your hand. If you're not new to this, you can do that. If you are new to this, you're just going to use your hands, and I'll do it without weight. So the first exercise, we're going to feel things out. The first set, you're going to keep your hands here. You're going to bring your legs down. Now the TVA, your back needs to be flat. All right. So heel, nice and slow. Keep your back flat. Bring it up. Don't go down any further than you can feel your back flat. Okay. Think of this as like priming your body for exercise because we're turning your core on to support your back. All right. Now, if you have pain in this position with regard to getting to the end of the set and it's aching, then you've done too much. So what you'll do from here is you won't touch the ground. You just find a way to move your legs only to the place where your back actually stays flat on the ground. Okay? All right. So that's how we're going to do this. Ready? Let's do it. And 1. This may be your second set. 2. That's actually 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 5. 5. 6. 6. 7. 7. Keeping your hips tilted toward your face. 8. 8. 9. 9, 10, and 10, and rest. Second set's going to be a little bit different, okay? Think of this as like the primer, all right? Second set, I'm going to have your hands up, your knees up, and we're going to move away and in. Now, if you have a weaker back or back pain, you probably won't go any farther than about 90 degrees where your hips are lined up with your knees before you bring it all the way in. If you have a stronger back, you can draw your legs and your arms farther away from the center point of your body, all right? You have to decide what works for you. So our legs at 90, hands up. I'm going to do the more advanced version, and out and in for 10. 1, 2, 3. And if you're even more advanced, 4. Put a weight in your hand. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we rest. Okay, you can rest by putting your feet down if you would like. Not everybody likes to hold their knees up in the air for 5 minutes. How are we feeling? Just rock back and forth, massage out your low back. Just kind of supine twist it a little bit and give it a little bit of relief and stretch those muscles and go the other way and stretch. Feels so good. All right. Leg up, feet and legs together, hands back. Go into your position, the extended position, and bring it in. And for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Now, shall we move on? All right. So the next grouping of exercises before we get to the bridge is going to be a clamshell. All right. And here we are. All right. So many of you have heard of what a clamshell exercise is. Maybe you've done physical therapy. Maybe you've had to work on something for your back in the past. It is a tried and true exercise for strengthening the glute muscle to relieve other issues. All right. So what we do is we lay it down flat, cradle your arm in your head in your arm, your head in your arm. All right. Bend your knees and make sure that your feet are lined up with your spine, and then lean forward a little bit onto your hand. That allows for this muscle to work. So all we're going to do from here is actually lift and hold it, and then bring it down. Lift, hold, bring it down. Got it? Okay, so here we go. We're going to do 10. And lift, and down, and lift, and down, and lift. Squeeze the glute, and down, and lift, and down, and lift, and down, and lift, and down. How are we feeling? And lift, and down, and lift, and down, and lift, and down. Woohoo! And lift, and down. Give me 2 more. And lift, and down, and lift, and down. All right. So where we want to feel it is in that major glute muscle back in here. Okay, strengthen that muscle, and we'll relieve some of the pain back in here or some hip discomfort. Okay. So how far to rest? How much to rest in between sets until you've recovered? Much depends on your cardiovascular conditioning, and there's a lot of schools of thought on that. But with regard to knowing how long to wait, you learn by doing. I think that if you can't complete a full set when you start the second set, you haven't waited long enough. All right, you ready? And go. Lift and down, 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 lift, squeeze and down, lift, 1 more, and down, lift and down, and rest. Rub it out if it's sore. Okay? We'll get there. We got one more to do on this side, and then we're going to flip over. Ready? Here we go. And lift, and down, 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 and lift. You got this. And down, and lift, and down, and lift, and down, and lift. Woohoo. And down. Give me one more. And lift, and down. Other side. Let's go. Up. And roll over. All right. Here we go. Same positioning. Head down. Lean forward. Get ready. Check yourself. Feet together and they stay together. Knees up. Go. Lift. And down. 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 Check the glute. Lift. You should feel it. And down. Lift. And down. 4 more. Lift. And down. Lift. And down. Lift. 1 more. And down. And lift. And rest. You might feel that right in there. But you can always check, is it doing what it's supposed to do? When you lift and you feel back in that big glute back there, you should have like tightness, not, obviously not on the surface, but in the muscle down inside, you should feel tightness. Okay? Isn't it nice to be able to feel your muscle? All right. Ready? Let's do it. Lift and down, 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 lift and down. 4 more. Lift and down. 3. Lift and down. 2. Lift and down. 1 more and lift and down. 2 more sets and we move on to bridges. This is a good one to do before you do bridges if you're having some issues, because it actually wakes up that glute muscle that you need to do the bridge, and it takes away from the small of your back. Okay? Are you ready? Lean forward, get your feet in position. Everything's ready to go. And lift. And down. 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 4 more. Lift. And down. Lift. And down. 2 more. Lift. And down. 1 more. Lift. And down. You owe me 1 more set. Aren't we having fun? See? We've been laying down on the floor all day long. Well, actually, not all day. Just about half an hour. All right. Here we go. Ready? And ready to lift. 3, 2, 1, and lift. And down, and lift. And down, and lift. And down, and lift. And down, lift. And down, lift. And down. 5 more, lift. And down, lift. You might feel that in the lower leg. And down, lift. And down, lift. And down, lift. And rest. Good job. Let's go into bridges now. Everybody sit up. Get a drink of water if you need it. Quick stretch. Just walk forward like a rag doll. Feet towards the sky. If you can reach them, great. If not, just grab onto whatever leg parts you can. All right, next, bridges on the ground. So on the flat of your back, on your back, you want your back to be flat for these, okay? So knees up, feet down, and you know that you're in the right position when you come up and you don't have a cramp in your hamstrings. If you do, move your feet farther away from your glute area. and then that will go away. Okay? All right, here we go. Knees up, feet down, hands on the floor, palms down. Everything is flat. So check your back. Is it flat? Rock back and forth, feel it out. Tilt, tuck, and tighten. Everything feels flat. So we're going to get started. We're going to push up through the heels and push down through the hands. Separate. 1, 2, 3. Abs tight. Squeeze everything inside. And 1. Excuse me. Up. 1, 2, 3. And down. So as you come up, I may remind you we want to do transverse abdominis tilt, a tilt. Try to get the hip bones to the rib cage. And then squeeze and lift. 1, 2, 3. That's number 3. And tilt, tuck, and lift. 4. Tilt, tuck, and lift. 5. And down. Tilt, tuck, and lift. 6. All the way up and down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 7. And down. Tilt, tuck, squeeze. 8. You should feel your glutes. And down. Tilt, tuck, squeeze. 9. And down. Tilt, tuck, squeeze. 10. And down. We got one more set. Okay? One more set. Rocking back and forth. I know that feels good. And yes, it's an exercise. All right, ready? Here we go. Tilt, tuck, lift. 1. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 2. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 3. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 4. And down. Nice and slow. Tilt, tuck, lift. 5. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 6. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 7. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 8. And down. Tilt, tuck, lift. 9. And down. One more. Tilt, tuck, lift. 10. And down. All right, everybody. We're going to sit up. Last but not least. Oh, no, that feels so good. I'm going to have you do it's a crossover stretch with a bent leg. So if you could kindly drop your right leg flat to the floor and take your left leg and bend it to 90. Take your right hand, put it on the outside of your knee, and your left hand and ground it into the floor. Abs tight, navel to spine. You're going to pull that knee across your center line, which runs belly button up and down this way. And you're going to just pull it to resistance. That's it. Grounding on the other leg. Drop it down. Bring the other one up. Stretch that leg straight. Push the heel into the ground. Drop your other hand and pull to the side. Navel to spine with this one. And hold. How's it feel? Now, there is another stretch that you can do with the strap, and I'll tell you about it, but we're going to stick with the crossover stretch because you're not here. For those of you who have more mobility, a straight leg stretch with a strap and pulled over, or a belt, all right, is another way to stretch. Okay, it gets the IT more in this one, and it's a longer stretch. All right, but don't try this unless, you kind of checked with me a little bit on it. All right, and bring it up. Other side, 90 degrees. Get the stretch over, pull, just so you meet resistance. All right, more advanced people, straight leg, straight foot to your face, and a nice long stretch this way. Okay, 2 versions. How's it feel? I can hear groaning. All right. Bring it up, switch off, other leg at 90 or straight. And we're going to stretch and ground that other arm. We should feel that right in the hip. And if you run your hands over your hip, you might feel like tiny little scar tissue bumps in there. That just means that some work needs to be done to stretch your body out on a foam roller and help with those. All right, and next, over the side and stretch. Suck your navel to your spine here, activate your core. Feel on that hip. Are there lumps and bumps in there? It's all scar tissue. Other side. Last one. Drop that leg. Bring it over. Ground the opposite hand. Abs tight. Feel out those bump things. They hurt. Yep. Bring it in. Rock. All right. Drop that other leg and go. One last stretch that I haven't told anybody about. Bring your legs up. Grab from the inside toward your ankles. Okay? If you're real flexible, you'll be able to pull them all the way in. But if not, and you can't, just grab your shins. And then I want you to spread out and bring your knees towards your chest on the outside. And then you're just like dead bug, gonna rock back and forth. Okay? Just rock back and forth. It feels so good. That is the last movement in this series of movements. Enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Run at Heart Personal Training or Run at Heart at MSN. Have a good day.